Holy shit.
Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Variable Action Heroes Victoream. Now this is a figure that I've been meaning to review for a while. It's not a new figure, but it did take me a long time to realize that it existed, so I didn't pick it up until last year sometime. And it's very strange that he does exist. Victoream is a character that's barely in Zatch Bell. He's in like 2 episodes. And this is the only character from Zatch Bell that they made. I believe that he might be something of a meme character in Japan, but I've certainly not seen him as a meme in the West anywhere. Very few people even know what Zatch Bell is, much less a weird, obscure character from that series. But putting all that aside, I love the fact that he exists, and he is legitimately probably one of my favorite figures just for the fact that he exists. So I would say if Zatch Bell is something that you like, or if you are familiar with this from some sort of internet meme, then you may want to pick one up. Starting off with a quick size comparison, of course here we have Victoream. Here's our standard 6-inch Marvel Legends Cosmic Armor Iron Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. Victoream is actually bigger than he probably should be. To the top of his V, he's a pretty similar size to a Marvel Legends figure, and while Victoream is a bigger Momoto, he is still not as tall as a normal person is. So he's pretty far from being proper 1/12 scale, which is unfortunate, but there's not anything else in this line to put him with anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Either way, let's get everything else out of here and just look at Victoream. Moving on to our 360 spin, here you can see Victoream. The majority of him is white, a very shiny white, almost pearlescent. He's got some green gems on his chest and forearms that are surrounded by gold. The gold on his forearms is in a flame sort of design. His upper arms are orange and have little black stripes on them. His legs are brown, and his feet are little pointy gold tips. Overall, he's a pretty much perfect representation of Victoream. That's exactly what Victoream looks like. He's a big white V. And that is what this figure is. Face sculpt-wise, Victoream comes with 5 different faces. He has his standard expression, his smiling expression, his pursed lips expression, his screaming expression, and his expression. This one has a hole in it which you can plug an effect part into. All the faces are really nicely executed. They have yellow eyes with black outlines. He has the black lines around the mouth, and he has the gold symbol on his forehead. They're all pretty much perfect and very expressive. Nothing to complain about there. Articulation-wise, Victoream has got pretty decent articulation for something with such an odd shape that he has. His head is attached via magnets, so it doesn't really have any proper articulation, but the upper part of his head can be attached to the stand, which allows you to be able to make it float as well as look slightly up and down. What would be really useful is if the stand could rotate, so I could also make him look left and right, so that is something that they really should have considered. His shoulders move in and out, forward and back, bicep cut, elbows hinge and rotate, wrists are on little ball pegs so you can get some decent motion there, hips move in and out, forward and back, thigh cut, hinge and rotation in the knees, and that is it, although each one of his ball joints does have the ability to sort of extend a little bit, which increases the range of motion. Overall, I think you can get him into most of the Victoream sort of poses that you would want to, but he is a little bit inhibited just based on the kind of strange design that he has. Accessories-wise, Victoream comes with a few things. He has 5 sets of hands, 2 fist hands, 2 flat palm hands, 2 grasping hands, 2 pointing hands, and 2 holding hands. They're all nicely detailed and look like his hands should. Then he has a separate set of arms with the big spiky wheels on them. The wheels rotate at the wrists, but the arms have no articulation. They would have been really cool on like big bendy tubes, but they unfortunately did not do it that way. Then he has his spell book, which is properly detailed. It does not open though. He has a bit of melon on a plate. Those are 2 separate objects, so you can display him eating melon, which I'm sure is what a lot of people would want to do. Then he has these little green blast kind of effects. You use these to replace the gems that are on his chest and forearms. I'm only going to replace one of them because it's honestly a pain in the ass to do, but you can see what that looks like. And lastly, he has his stand, which I've talked a bit about earlier. The base of it is a big V, and then it's got a melon wedge that the actual 3-jointed arm attaches to. It's a very cool stand, and you absolutely need it because he cannot stand up without it. All in all, it's a very nice assortment of accessories, and I have nothing to really complain about. I think he comes with pretty much everything that I would really want. Packaging-wise, Victoream comes in a pretty standard windowed box, window to display the figure, picture of the figure on the side. There's almost nothing on this box that I can actually read, and on the back you get pictures and poses for the figure and more stuff that I can't read. As always, these are good for in or out of package display, and that about wraps it up for Victoream. So until next time, goodbye!